Just last week, Michael Lorenzen provided one of the most emotional nights for Philly fans this season when he tossed a no-hitter at his home ballpark in just his second start in the red pinstripes. It was just the fifth time in the expansion era, the last 60 years, that a pitcher tossed a no-hitter for his new team in his first or second start. But one spectacle that will likely remain untouched in no-hitter history is a pitcher tossing a no-hitter in his first start, period. A little over 2 years ago, rookie left-hander Tyler Gilbert towed the rubber for the then worst team in baseball in his first major league start ever. He faced one batter above the minimum and allowed no hits through 9 innings en route to a no-hitter in his first start, something that hadn't been accomplished in 70 years. Today, I want to take us back and remember each step of it, because however unlikely you might think it is, I promise you it's more than that. And I was there to witness it. I'm a big Arizona Diamondbacks fan. It's not like somebody at the office just gave me this shirt. I was there. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video, a comment on the video, and subscribe to the Jolly Olive channel. Also ring that bell for all future notifications so you don't miss a single upload every Saturday.
In the scope of baseball and the pandemic, I believe the coronavirus was hardest on the minor leaguers. 2020 baseball was weird for numerous reasons: an abridged 60-game season, a vastly expanded playoff bracket, but weirdest of all, no minor league baseball whatsoever. As if the salary situation and quality of life wasn't bad enough already, many minor league baseball players, like Tyler Gilbert, missed a year of key development and had to take on odd jobs just to survive. Many of these players watched their dream of playing baseball professionally fade away for this very reason. Tyler Gilbert spent his summer throwing bullpens to an old high school coach and doing electrical work alongside his father in order to make ends meet. As a reliever in AAA the year before, he certainly had a path to becoming a big leaguer, but I'd hardly say that he was due for any stardom. He was a 6th round pick from 5 years prior at that point, tinkered with to no end between a starting role and relieving role, traded by the Phillies to the Dodgers, swiped away from LA by Arizona in the Rule 5 draft. This was a tumultuous path toward his dream, and it was bumpy, with the biggest hurdle being a pandemic that stunted his best progress yet. In 2019, Gilbert maintained a 2.83 ERA as a reliever in the very volatile International League. He survived the pandemic year and transitioned back to a starting role in 2021, but certainly wasn't showing up on any top prospect list at age 27. Gilbert impressed again though, with a 3.44 ERA in 10 starts through the end of July at AAA. Gilbert hadn't completed more than 6 innings or thrown more than 93 pitches in the minor leagues that season, and this will be important later. Finally, in early August, Gilbert got the nod for his major league debut. He'd be joining the worst team in baseball, the then 34-74 Arizona Diamondbacks. This team won just 8 games total in May and June combined, including a stretch where they lost 30 of 32 games, an almost unimaginable feat in futility. They set a franchise record at one point with 15 consecutive losses, then one up that with an MLB record by losing 24 consecutive road games, a feat not even accomplished by some of the worst teams ever. Gilbert was no game changer, but was definitely a needed arm to aid an injury-depleted, underperforming pitching staff. After trading away Joakim Soria and Eduardo Escobar, roster spots were open, and Gilbert took full advantage. Out of the bullpen, he made 3 scoreless appearances, but soon his services were called upon for the rotation. Gilbert was the 15th of 16 different pitchers to start a game that season for Arizona, so to say they were deep in their own depth chart and desperate for quality innings would be an understatement. On Saturday, August 14th, Tyler Gilbert took the mound for a start against the 67-52 San Diego Padres, the first start of his major league career. But this one came in front of just 16,000 fans, most of them Padres fans if we're being honest, and he walked Tommy Pham to kick off the game. But then he induced an Adam Frazier double play and struck out Manny Machado to end the first inning. Not a bad start. Let's quickly talk about this Padres offense for a second. The Diamondbacks were asking a ton of Tyler Gilbert to give them quality innings against an offense that was top 10 in the major leagues for runs scored, batting average, on-base percentage, and weighted runs created plus. Everybody in this lineup was an above league average hitter in terms of OPS plus. He had a lot cut out for him. Opposing him was the Padres ace Joe Musgrove, who tossed a no-hitter in April that season. 2021 was truly the year of the no-hitter, with a grand total of 9 different no-hitters by season's end. In between Musgrove and Gilbert's accomplishments came Carlos Rodon, John Means, and Wade Miley, just to name a few. However, on this day, Musgrove wasn't nearly as special, giving up 5 first-inning runs to a lowly Arizona lineup. The rally was capped off by current Philly Drew Ellis's 3-run bomb, the first of his career. In the top of the second inning, Austin Nola and Eric Hosmer both smoked ground balls at over 105 miles per hour, 2 of the top 4 highest exit velocities of the day. Luckily for Gilbert, they both found the glove of second baseman Josh Van Meter, helping him carve out a 1-2-3 inning. This is going to be a common theme throughout the game, and it makes sense why these balls were getting tattooed when you factor in Gilbert's stuff. He averaged just 89 miles per hour on his 4-seam fastball in this game, and his hardest pitch of the night was 91.4 miles per hour, a full tick below the baseline 4-seamer thrown by a lefty starter that season. Gilbert did not have strikeout stuff. That being said, he shockingly struck out a pair of Padres hitters in the bottom of the third, 2 of just 5 strikeouts he'd have on the night. Gilbert's 5 strikeouts matched the fewest in a no-hitter since 2013, and it probably wasn't helped much by a lack of veteran presence on the other side of his battery. His catcher, Dalton Varsho, had just 27 career starts as an MLB catcher to that point. Between Gilbert's 1 start and Varsho's 27, it was the least amount of combined starts ever by a pitcher-catcher combo who achieved a no-hitter. Similar to the first inning, Gilbert kicks off the 4th inning by walking Tommy Pham again, then gets another Adam Frazier double play to stay at the minimum. This ball was absolutely scorched right to Pavin Smith and had an expected batting average over 500. En route to his no-hitter, Gilbert allowed 10 batted balls above 95 miles per hour on exit velocity, which is what MLB defines as a hard hit. Right after, Manny Machado hit the hardest ball of the night, an 112 mile per hour line out that traveled over 300 feet to left fielder David Peralta. Sometimes being lucky is better than being good. Gilbert gets in on the action himself in the 5th inning when this Eric Hosmer liner finds his glove to wrap up another hitless inning. Gilbert threw just 10 pitches in the 5th and the 6th inning to maintain his count at 73 pitches through 6 innings. This is important because he was originally planned to exceed no more than 95 pitches on the night, leaving manager Torey Lovullo with arguably his most important decision of that lowly season, whether or not to let this kid finish the job. The 7th inning started in the worst possible way, with Tommy Pham working his 3rd walk of the day on an 8-pitch battle. Adam Frazier, though, gets robbed yet again, this time by Drew Ellis, and Gilbert needs just 5 pitches to get through Manny Machado and Jake Cronenworth to put a bow on the 7th at 88 pitches. For a rookie pitcher 6 outs away from etching his name in baseball history books, Gilbert was aware of the situation and was remarkably calm. In a quote after the game, he said, "It was weird. I wasn't nervous at all. I just kept going out there and doing my thing. I was really nervous leading up to the game, but after that 3-pitch inning, I was like, okay, this is possibly going to happen. I just kind of stayed level-headed and kept making my pitches." That 3-pitch inning he mentioned came in the following inning in the 8th, a feat that had been accomplished only 3 other times that season. One of those pitches was taken all the way to the wall by Austin Nola, and this cameraman made everyone watching at home think that this ball was deep into the seats. Instead, it was a leaping grab for veteran David Peralta. Eric Hosmer scorched one up the middle for a 6-3 ground out, and Will Myers smacked one to the deepest part of the ballpark, all for a flyout. His 3-pitch inning made his manager's decision to let him back out for the 9th inning way simpler, with Gilbert at just 91 pitches. The 9th inning must have placed some confidence with Tyler Gilbert, who kicked off his pursuit of the final 3 outs by notching his 4th and 5th strikeouts of the day when the pressure was at its highest. At long last, the final batter of the game was Tommy Pham, the only man yet to be retired throughout the game for either side. He stepped up and he was not looking to walk. Pham swung at the first pitch, lining one to center field that almost assuredly looked like a single from the camera work, but it hangs up there, long enough for Ketel Marte to creep into frame and squeeze the liner into his glove. It never seemed like he was truly dominating, but Tyler Gilbert collected all 27 outs without a single hitter notching a hit against him in his first ever Major League start. The Diamondbacks swarmed him on the mound, the crowd let out shocked cries of joy. All the Padres could do was look on in disbelief. On a day where they squared up the ball on numerous occasions, the baseball gods handed them 0 results to show for it. From the look of it, Tyler Gilbert's no-hitter is one of the most unlikely in baseball history, but for numerous reasons it goes beyond the fact that he was an inexperienced, soft-tossing lefty. His no-hitter was the 8th one of 2021, not counting the 7-inning no-hitter by his teammate Madison Bumgarner. This broke the modern record record and tied the all-time record set in 1884, which would be broken later on in the season. He was also the first Diamondbacks pitcher to throw a no-hitter at Chase Field, one of the most offense-friendly stadiums in all of baseball. Gilbert was just the third ever pitcher to throw a no-hitter in his first start. He joined Bumpus Jones for the 1892 Reds, which I think is the best baseball name I've ever said. He also joined Bobo Holloman for the 1953 Browns. Boy, this stat is just the gift that keeps on giving. The 37-80 Arizona team were the worst squad by winning percentage to throw a no-hitter at least 40 games into the season since the 1916 Philadelphia A's. Let's get into more analytical stuff. The expected batting average across the whole game for the Padres was .243, a decent mark, especially when you consider that they got no hits on the day, so their actual batting average was 0, one of the largest disparities in expected to actual values in a single game ever, and easily the highest expected team batting average when the team ended up getting no hit. Gilbert also became just the second Rule 5 draft pick ever to toss a Major League no-no, in terrific company with none other than two-time Cy Young winner Johan Santana, who did so nearly a decade prior for the Mets. But that's the important thing to remember here. Gilbert was certainly not an ace-caliber pitcher, but was able to be historically great for just a day. In his next start, the no-hit effort lasted for just 5 pitches, a start where he allowed 9 hits in 5 innings. The rest of Gilbert's career to this point has gone how you might expect. He has a 4.93 ERA and 76 2/3 innings since the no-hitter per the recording of this video. He's won just 1 game in the 3 years since, so perhaps the narrative could shift, but as it currently stands, Gilbert's name on the list of pitchers with no-hitters is certainly one of the oddest, just 2 years removed from its day.
And that is the spectacle of the Tyler Gilbert no-hitter. Is it the most unlikely no-hitter in baseball history? Well, if you disagree with me, make sure you leave a comment telling me what you think is. But for me, it's gotta be this, a rookie pitcher who threw 90 miles per hour, defeating one of the most potent lineups in baseball that season en route to a no-hitter. Something like this may never happen again in baseball history, and I think that's really special. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you stuck around this long, why don't you hear a word from today's sponsor, Shady Rays. Summer might be winding down, but that doesn't mean you can't get yourself a brand new pair of Shady Rays sunglasses because, you want to look cool year-round. It's not always about the sun. And right now, with code JM30, you can get 30% off the custom Jimmy and Jake pairs that just came out through a collaboration with Jomboy Media and Shady Rays. It's a great deal. It's a world-class product that's just as good as any of the expensive pairs you've ever put on at a fraction of the price. Durable frames, extremely clear optics, and best of all, the best warranty plan in the entire sunglasses business. If you lose or break your pair, Shady Rays is going to replace them, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because long after your purchase, Shady Rays has your back. So I've got 2 separate deals for you. Right now you can use code JOLLY, J-O-L-L-Y, for 50% off 2 or more pairs of sunglasses if you're looking to buy in bulk, or if you're looking to get the new collab pair between Jomboy Media and Shady Rays, make sure you use code JM30 for 30% off your purchase. Go to ShadyRays.com right now or click the link in my description and take advantage of these promo codes today because who knows how long they'll be available. Thank you to Shady Rays for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.